I didn't have the money because I wasn't really making good money in the high ticket space at the time. Because obviously, a year of going through ups and downs, ups and downs. So I had to ask my lady to take one more opportunity. She put her credit on the line, man, for me.
You had invested prior.
Yeah, definitely. Just didn't see exactly what I was hoping to see.
Prior to our first month together in April, how much did you make in a full month?
1,500.
How much did you make last month?
In total, 8.7.
8.7K from 1500. And how do you feel now on the other side of having made it fucking happen?
It feels good, man.
Welcome back. We got my boy Dante here. This is one of my favorite stories on the channel so far. And it's because I think a lot of you are going to be able to relate. A lot of you are in a very similar place that Dante was in only like what, 3 months ago, which is really
Yeah.
crazy. So, real quick, Dante, how much did you make prior to our first month together in April? How much did you make in a full month?
1,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were a setter, right?
Yeah, I was a setter at the time.
Okay. How much did you make last month?
In total, 8.7.
8.7K from 1500.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to get into all the nitty gritty. And you made that as a closer, by the way, which is important to note
Mhm.
because I think a lot of the fears, the insecurities you had, a lot of my audience shares. But let's take them back a little bit, man. For one, how long have you been in high ticket sales?
Mhm.
And for two, what do you sell?
Yeah, so I've been in like the high ticket sales space probably coming up to like a year itself. And right now I'm currently on like a trading like mentorship offer, like a trading course offer. But yeah, I've been in for roughly like a year.
Okay, so 1 year, what were some of the biggest frustrations or challenges you were having trying to be a setter? I mean, trying to be a closer.
Trying to make the transition, man. I think it took me a lot of bad offers really just to get set to something good. But yeah, I think just the journey of like really knowing how to make that transition. I think that was probably like the difficult part. I always knew I wanted to become a closer, but it was more of like, how do I actually make it happen?
Yeah, and were you landing interviews but not progressing? Were you maybe getting on shitty offers? Were you not getting even the interviews? Well, where would you get stuck?
All of the above, man, honestly, right? Like, I think there's a difference between just being like a setter and like an actual good setter. I felt good on that end, but it was more about how do I transition to actually being a good closer, right? Because that's definitely a gap there, but it's like, how do I close that gap to get to where I want to be?
Okay. In your opinion, what do you think led to closing that gap?
Ah, man, when I met you, right? I think there were a lot of things that I had to like overcome, right?
Hmm.
In terms of like actually, I think I could have become probably a closer probably a lot sooner, but it was just more of, and I had like some internal things I had to overcome. And I think that's a lot of things that we worked on was more of like the internal side.
Because yeah, man, a year is like a decent amount of time, right? And still being a setter. And you had invested prior, right?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely haven't been afraid of investing, but yeah, just didn't see exactly what I was hoping to see.
Okay, where was your mind at now, having invested thousands of dollars prior? And then here I am saying you need to invest again. Where was your mind at there? How did you feel about investing again after having done it and it didn't work out?
Honestly, truthfully, man, a part of me it was like, dude, this has to be probably the last time we could do this, right? Especially knowing that I want more, but only way I'm able to actually get more is if I invest. But
Hmm.
it's like eventually I'm running myself into debt so much. I'm like, dude, this has to be the one. So it was more of like a Hail Mary.
And what made you not say like, oh, fuck this, I've invested before, or like I'm not going to keep going? Because that's what a lot of people in your place would do and actively do right now
Yeah.
and tell themselves the story of I've done it before. Let me make my money back from the last investment and keep spinning their wheels. Why didn't you tell yourself that story?
Not sure where I heard it from. It might be a few people, but they always say the high ticket space itself, man, it moves so fast, but also I think I've heard success loves speed. So it was more about me. I just didn't want another year to go past of me sitting around just wondering, can I actually make it happen? It's more about like, dude, let's just go.
Yeah. And that's powerful. That's powerful. Because, yeah, again, it's easy to get in this place where you just like get so jaded and you're just like, fuck, I'm not investing again. I'm not doing it again. And another part of that is you were getting yourself into debt, like you said, and things were not working. So, two parts of the question. Let's start with the first part. What
Mhm.
was the difference here between this and the other things that you invested in for this to be the one that had gotten you 6x your income?
So like the previous mentorships that I had, they were nice, but it was all based around like setting, right? So it was good, but again, knowing that there was a gap between where I'm at and where I wanted to be, and I wanted to close that, seeing you and seeing like the success rates that you've had with people, I'm like, dude, if I'm looking to take that leap, right now is the opportunity to really just go for
That takes balls too.
it.
I think you had some concerns. I don't think you had crazy objections, to be honest, which just shows like people who have the craziest objections that we don't handle in like 15 minutes typically don't do the best. And so that typically gauges a lot. And I could see a winner when we started. Now, having the second part of that question is having gotten into debt, right? Not being in the best financial place. How did you get resourceful and make this happen?
Oh yeah, man. I remember that one. That I do remember. I think you challenged me super hard on like, man, you want it, but we got to get resourceful. I didn't have the money at the time, right? Because I wasn't really making good money in the high ticket space at the time.
Hmm.
So I had to ask my lady to take, one more opportunity. Let's bet all the chips here. And she put her credit on the line, man, for me in
Wow.
terms of like really just being able to make it happen.
I respect you so much for that. And I told you that that day. And that put pressure on me, a lot of
Yeah.
pressure on me. Like, fuck, like his wife is helping him. How did you feel asking her? Like seeing it's been a year, I've been trying to make this thing work. This is yet another investment. Where was your heart? Where was your mind at?
I mean, as a man, right, having to one ask somebody else, but also have to ask like your wife for the
Mhm.
help financially, definitely didn't make me feel good, right?
Yeah.
To kind of feel like, man, I'm here right now, having to get on my not necessarily on my knees, but pretty much just saying like, yo, just please, just have this trust in me, this faith, and just made me feel like I have to make it work. As 50 Cent says, man, get rich or die trying. Like that's literally what I had to make happen.
And how do you feel now on the other side of having made it fucking happen?
It feels good, man. The confidence aspect, right? Because
Mhm.
obviously, a year of going through ups and downs, you start to feel like, does the high ticket space actually work? Looking at your content, man, it was like it's more of like an internal, right? Like other people are having success, so obviously it does work. It's more about something I'm not doing. So it's about having to overcome that so I can get to where I want to be.
I'm the problem, so I'm the solution. How does your wife feel now seeing you have had it made it work?
Man, the dreams are starting to come back, right? Because obviously a year of hitting the pavement and not really making
Mhm.
anything happen, the doubt could definitely, the cloud in the house.
Yeah.
But things now, man, are definitely the sun is shining a lot.
Let's
Yeah.
go. I love that. I'm proud of you, dog.
Yeah.
And the other side, too, to be clear, it wasn't very easy, right? How long did it take you, even after being in the program, guys,
Mhm.
right? How long did it take you to land your first role?
2 months, man. Yeah, 2 months.
So your wife invests, right? You have better support, yet it still takes 2 months. Why, what do you think was missing? Why do you think it took you that long?
Truly just the internal. I remember our first call, you're like, man, you could be on a closing offer within like probably like 2 weeks if you really go at it. But yeah, I think it was just internal. Truly. It was internal of me standing in my own way of like coming from a setter to closer. Can I actually do this? And then one day I'm just like, dude, you got to make it happen. It's now or never. So I jumped off the bridge, man, and made it happen.
Yeah, threw yourself in the deep end, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. That's a big thing when it comes to making that transition. It's easy to, even if you've done the thing, you got the gym membership. It's like you still got to show up and pick up the weights. And that's where mentorship comes into play because you tell yourself these stories that no one can see but you.
Yeah.
And the tough part is that it makes so much sense to you. Like, of course I'm gonna wait a little bit before I get on a roll. Of course I'm gonna wait, right? Like you
Yeah.
justify it in your mind. And I've seen that happen in so many ways in myself too. I have mentors and everything, man. Content. I got a relationship coach before, fitness trainer, like everything.
Hmm.
There's all these areas in life that we lie to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm glad you saw that quickly and you moved quickly. And you got a community was it from I mean, you got a role from the community or was it elsewhere?
I got it through a connection through the community. I'll say that. Yeah, I
Nice.
got it through a connection through the community.
Shaking the right hands.
Yeah, exactly. I
Shaking the right
mean,
hands.
the network is deep. I'll say that. The network is like they say, the net worth, right? So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes, sir. And was there anything that surprised you as a result of us working together? Anything that you weren't expecting, or was everything kind of what you thought it would be?
I think the biggest thing was the call reviews, man, or just being able to reach out, how intimate it actually is. I think that
Mhm.
was probably like the biggest thing. But the call reviews and being able to hop on and actually have you dive into my calls right then and there, I think that was probably the biggest thing. Because then right after I can actually go implement and then come back
Mhm.
and tell you
And you
how it
would
went.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would. Well, sweet. We're close to the end here. Someone who right now is listening to this, maybe they've invested in themselves. Maybe they tell themselves a story of I don't have money. Maybe they tell themselves a story of maybe I don't have what it takes to be a closer. And they're in their way and they're still not getting the help. What would you tell that person? What would you tell Dante from 3 months ago?
I mean, just like what you say, right? It's a 2.0 version of yourself, right? There's two sides to every coin, man. You know where you want to be, but then also there's another side of you that it's like, dude, if you continue going down this path and not taking that leap, you're gonna have to sit with that reality of that regret. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, which one would you rather be, 2.0 or sit with the regret,
Yeah.
right? So make the leap.
That's powerful. One last thing that I'm curious on from 6xing your income, has that changed anything about your life personally? Like, have you been able to pay stuff off? Have you been able to do anything, or have you just been stacking, or what does that look like?
I mean, I definitely made back the investment and some, right?
Hmm.
But most importantly, man, I think just the confidence, right? Like a whole year of kind of like just like beating the pavement and not really seeing much success, you start to question yourself. The confidence starts to get a little lower. But now finally, seeing the other side of like what it actually can be and like living that, dude, the confidence to me, that's probably been the biggest thing is actually having that
Yeah.
belief in myself again.
Well, there it is. There it
Yeah.
is. And some designer waters we were talking about before we started
Exactly.
filming.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you can start getting the bag, the water's different. The water's different.
100%.
Well, sweet.
100%.
I appreciate you, man. I'm proud, dog. This is only the beginning. I know, the 20, the 30Ks, I know that's in the cards for you. If you are listening to this and you're telling yourself a story if I don't have the money, or you're struggling to break into being a closer, or overall you know you've been doing this for a while and you're not getting the results you want, whether or not you've invested prior, I know this is hitting hard and we could still help you. So hit the link in the description to speak to either me or my team. The next 3 months can look completely different, and let's get you out of this and let's actually make a living out of high ticket sales, a sustainable living. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.